Ladies and gents, we're here at the Norwell Motorplex and we have the winners of last year's Bathurst 6 Hour. We've got Shane Smollen and Rob Rubis. Gentlemen, how are we today?
Yeah, great. Good to be back in a car. There hasn't been a lot of race laps in between, but good to just start tuning up the old body before Big Easter again.
Yep. Rob?
Oh, absolutely fantastic to be back doing it. Looking forward to the 6 hour, something incredibly, especially both with Shane and Gisbergen, and just enjoying being back here, back behind a wheel of a car.
It's great, isn't it? You know, we haven't done a lot of racing. Let's not beat around the bush. You're here to do some laps to sharpen your skills, get yourself back on point. What's it been like today?
Yeah, well, today's been a wet track, which we saw as an opportunity to have some great coaches here, and then SVG was here, who goes pretty well on the wet himself. So it was just great to get in there and just think about what to do, feel the different grip levels, the different surfaces, and all the things that, of course, apply on a race weekend that sometimes you just don't have as much time to adapt to. So today was really valuable, and we're going to pop back in a few weeks and try and build on what has been a fairly slow build-up because there just haven't been the events due to COVID. So we're trying to make up for lost time from today.
Rob?
No, absolutely. I think having days, any day in the wet weather, a test day or a drive day in the wet is an absolute advantage to sort of build your mind back into it. Certainly with SVG is incredible, and the boys here, Gary Jacobs, etc., do a great job. I think it's just been invaluable experience, and also it's just getting your mind back into that plane of thinking about where you're meant to be everywhere on the track and so forth, and the different fields and the parts and etc. etc. It's very good.
So, gents, you won the event last year. You've had 12 months to sink in. Was honestly, has it sunk in yet, or is it still percolating around?
Oh, it's still percolating around, to be honest. It's still, you pinch yourself. It's an absolute a life moment, that the old bucket list moment, but it is amazing, and to do it with a great friend and also with SVG, it's incredible. It's just a great experience, and obviously looking forward to the experience this year, and no, it hasn't quite sunk in yet. You still think about it, and you still look at the trophy and go, wow. And that's it. That's where it sits in your mind. It's incredible.
Shane?
Yeah, look, certainly for me, I can't say I was going to hang up the boots, but I certainly wasn't expecting to be back there on the top step of the podium with Rob and Shane van Gisbergen. So it was just a great experience. I don't know if I really got to enjoy it joyously over those final laps with that 5-second penalty, but at the end of the day, that just added to the suspense and the drama and I guess the memories. So we're treating this year similar to last year. I mean, there's going to be a really strong depth of field. The cars are very, very equal, and some great drivers, of course. So, and anything can happen over 6 hours. So we're not going in there with taking anything for granted whatsoever, and that's why we're really just now trying to build on our preparation and start to look for those 1%ers that might make the difference.
So you'll be running the number one this year?
Yeah, why not? We ran the 97 last year for obvious reasons. I've always run 56, but I thought, how often do you get a chance to throw a one on a car at Bathurst, and that's exactly what we'll be doing.
So let's talk about the program for this year. Same driver pairing. No one would want to change that. I think it was a really strong driver pairing. You're going to bring anything different to the table this year?
Yeah, look, this year there'll be an upgrade of engineering personnel in terms of there'll be 3 engineers working across the team, and we're delighted to have Walkinshaw Andretti United senior engineer Dr. Jeffrey Slater on our team. He's got some history back with SVG, and in the time we've had with him speaking to date, we think it'll be a really great combination. So that's the main thing. Other than that, just trying to get the bodies right, and as I said, get a few laps in. And Shane was very impressive last year in terms of how seriously he took the strategy and really just sort of fine-tuning our attack, and probably beyond our expectations. So I'm sure he'll bring that same professionalism again, and I'm sure he won't be wanting to come second or worse. So really looking forward to it. We had a great team last year, but through Berg Linton's increasingly growing and professional outfit, there'll be just a bit more horsepower in the garage.
Look, there will be, but you'd have to admit everyone has lifted their game this year. You look at some of the driver pairings and some of the cars that are being wheeled out. It's refreshing because this is grassroots racing. Everyone has the ability to run in it. And, you blokes were on the top step of the podium last year. It's a great event.
Oh, I think it's a spectacular event, and from my early days in the early 90s racing a HQ there through to all the 2-hour production car races and so forth, this event has become something very special. I think obviously winning it is still an amazing moment, but just driving with people like SVG and also then against other people that'll obviously be there, whether it's the Will Davisons and so forth and the Russells, etc. in their car, and the Ellerys in their car, and John Bow and etc., all the legends of motorsport. It's an incredible...
Marcus Ambrose goes all right.
Marcus Ambrose apparently goes quite well too. Yeah, so he does well. So there's a few good pedallers.
There are, and you know what? It's refreshing, isn't it? That this event has grown in stature and people are coming to it.
Oh, definitely. I think last year was a big step in the right direction. Driver talent, media exposure, and this is as close as win on Sunday, sell on Monday as it gets in Australian motorsport. And I think it's a category that people can really relate to. But make no mistake, these are serious race cars, and they're fast. We're pulling serious speed, and of course you've got that added complication of a 70-car field and multiple classes. So there'll be no shortage of hairy moments.
Thank you, lads.
Thanks very
Pleasure.
much.
We'll see you on the mountain.
So we've got the third driver in the number 1 car this year, SVG. How you been?
Pretty good. You?
Good. Lovely day here on the sunny Gold Coast. Unfortunately, the weather's a little bit inclement, but you know what? It's good for driving, isn't it?
Yeah, well, any conditions. It's always good here at Norwell to do some laps. So got a young Kiwi here, Caleb Nato, but also Shane and Rob to do some laps as well. So they haven't been driving much, so it's good just to get a feel, even though it is wet, and start thinking about going quick again.
That's right. So let's just talk about last year's 6-hour.
Yep.
You came in right at the last minute. You actually enjoyed yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was a good weekend. Like, it's always fun going racing, and then when you have a good team of people and a low stress event, that's when you perform the best. You enjoy yourself and have a lot of fun. So it was a good environment to be in.
Yeah. Clearly you won. Another thing to add to the trophy cabinet, it's a bit of a unique event because it's really old school, isn't it? Because it's production car racing and it's, variety of cars, and it's good grassroots motorsport.
Yeah, it's proper. Like, there's all different levels of drivers and people starting out, people who are very experienced, and then people who are doing it for fun, and then a few professional guys as well. So it's really cool, but there was a lot of respect in the paddock, and then also on track as well. There's a lot less cutthroat than what I used to, so yeah, made it pretty fun.
Yep. So moving forward to this year, you guys are going to stay the same driver pairing, which is great. Yep. There's been a couple of others that have upped their game. Okay. Do you see it as competition, or do you just see it as people trying really hard to win something that, it's a great event?
I don't know. I don't think about that stuff. But for us, we've got the same car, same lineup. That's always good. And then there's some improvements on our car as well. And whoever the competition is will be the competition. We'll deal with it on the day. But as long as our preparation's good, we should have no problems.
Yep. So you're back in the BMW M4 again this year. Is it a well-balanced car to drive?
Yeah, it's okay. The tyres are what they are, but everyone has the same, so you got to sort of drive to that and learn. But yeah, we didn't really change much setup last year. We just learnt the car and what it needed on the tyre. It's quite unique. It's a bit of an adventure around there, but you just have to remember everyone's got the same problem you do.
Yep. So you've been here today with your other 2 partners in crime, giving them a bit of a tune-up because they need some miles. How did they go today?
Yeah, it's fine, but as I said, it's when you don't drive enough, it's very tough. They obviously got another life outside of what they do with their racing, so it's good to come here, start thinking about driving before we test in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully come back here again before the 6-hour itself. So by then they'll be well in tune with going quick.